Taimaphobia is the fear of palindromes. A palindrome is a word that is spelled the same backwards as forwards.
Alrighty then. So yeah, that's our weird intro for the day. A little fun fact: ipophobia is pretty much a palindrome, and you're scared of your own phobia. I just feel like the doctors who name those are trolls.
Yeah, because look at the. I think you earlier didn't have the name of
The
fear of long
hippopotamus
words.
thing,
Yeah,
like yeah.
hippopotaquilla. Oh, some long word.
So let's get
It's just
to the
it's literally
let's
the fear of
get
long words.
let's get to the AT. So they're probably like, I didn't come here for this. This is an AT. So now we're
They
here with
came here for
Kirara.
educational purposes.
Yeah, now everyone has that fun fact that's like useless information they can't use. So, we're going to get right into what we normally do on Tuesdays, and that's going over the update. I want to look at the gotcha screen first, yes. So, fun fact, we have one more week of Shiranui, so if you want her, pull her. We have 2 more weeks of Ingrid and Kirara's weapons at up rates, so if you want those, try to pull them, but I will say this about each of these gotchas, the rates are horrible right now, so be cautious and don't overspend your gems. If you find that you're getting nothing, don't keep throwing gems away to keep getting nothing, essentially. Unless you're whaling, in which case do whatever you want.
Especially with the it's not confirmed or anything, but obviously with the potential summer event coming around the corner.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those swimsuits are going to happen within the coming weeks, I'm pretty sure. So, like, people thought they were going to be up this week, honestly. I was like, that'd be terrible, like, if they put them up with the bride skins.
I'm expecting them either late July, August, because that's roughly the same time Final Fantasy does theirs. And obviously that's when like summer is at its peak in Japan, so
Ah, so AT is trying to compete with Final Fantasy. Got it.
I mean it's in every game.
I don't think they're going to win that war. So, next...
crossover. Final you stole her in 80.
Oh, if Yostolo was a guest character, I'd forget every other character. Yostola's hot. Back on subject. So today we have Hayami Uzuki is added to the pickup gotcha. She's our newest gotcha supporter. And yeah, we're just gonna come right out and say she sucks.
She's a Valkyria. She's the Valkyria Chronicles or waifu.
She is a Valkyria Chronicles character. She is very cute. She's very pretty, but she's not that good. My biggest issue with her,
she just sucks.
Yeah, my biggest issue with her, like to start, is that she has this damage dealt with weapon skills increased by 18%. I would like that passive more if she were red, because then you could like stack her with Ingrid and red builds. And for people looking to like really build into weapon damage up, that'd be a neat little thing to try and test out, and it may even be good. But the fact she's blue totally kills that build synergy, because like I'm sure there's a character that can probably run red blue, but I don't think it's like there are many. That's a weird mix to me. What did you say, Ark? Ark?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I was about to, I thought you DC'd. I was like, Ark.
I was quickly being called into the other room. Sorry about that.
Right. No, I say because I thought you were saying something in pertaining to this. So sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, I think red and blue is just a weird mix. Like some characters could do it, but not all. So you can't even like really stack her with Ingrid efficiently, and her active is just god awful.
Yeah,
it's not that it's the worst active ever. It's the cooldown.
Her active would be mediocre even at a 30-second cooldown. That's the problem.
The fact just stands that you could simply put on a Homura and get the 30%. And, I mean, like...
As a passive as well.
Yeah, it is passive too. This is only for a 10-second duration. The only thing I could say, and Ark and I disagree about this, I think if she were an event supporter, I'd like her a little more, because at least is some sort of damage buff for free-to-play players. But Ark doesn't even think that. He just thinks she's terrible all around. So
yeah, I think she's adorable. I think the artist did a really good job, but we can't see the artist because we don't have her, so we can't pat the artist on the back. But even as an event supporter, I think she would be one of the worst event supporters we've had as well. I just think she's so bad. She's literally just worse Ingrid. Realistically with her passive.
And she's the worst
just
color.
Terrible all around.
Yeah, she's the worst
color.
Yeah,
and she's the worst color. And as I said, even you could half the cooldown of that and give it a 28-second passive, or 23-second passive, whatever. Then it would still only be about mediocre, because again, you've got the problem of you could just run Homer and it would be better.
And if you're looking for someone to buff your damage, you could just run Sora. And
Yeah,
most people have
she's
a
just
Sora because of all the gems they threw at us with the tower. So a lot of people
yeah.
have at least one Sora on them.
I think we're both safe to say that we're both voting skip on this one and don't even waste your gems on a temple.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do a half off pull. Like, unless you're hard
No.
up for collection purposes, I just wouldn't. Like, I
This
don't think
is
she's worth it. It's just fact. She's not that good. There's no way to be nice
this
about it.
is I see her as another support that's going to pollute the pool. Nothing else.
Yep, she's just there to do. Yeah, exactly. It just pollutes the pool. It's just something that you'll get in the future, like when she's added to the main pool, and you'll just hate pulling her every time because she's not that good. But she's
Yeah.
adorable, so yeah, I like her for that. She's so cute, man. It's a shame she's not that
She's
good.
yeah,
I
she's
don't,
cute
and
and all
that's
that
the
stuff,
thing. I don't
but
know how like there are these like weird gotcha supporters. Like it's the same with that cell phone chick, how she's just not that good, or like Tatsumi, how she's just not that good. But they're like premium supporters. I don't get why they would like monetize a supporter like this. I will say the one big benefit with her is hey, you don't have to worry about spending gems. Because
yeah.
yeah, you can save
For
gems.
3 freaking weeks as
Yep.
well, because as I said in I think the previous video, we are literally the Japanese server now. It's just in a different name because Japan has 3 weeks intervals and everything now, and oh look at that, we do now.
Yeah.
Even the event is a 3 weeks now. So yeah, have fun
So
of your 2 dead week event. Have fun of your 2 essential dead weeks of updates. Unfortunately,
oh my god. I hope they do a little something. Like imagine it's just literally dead
I
updates for two
dude,
weeks.
like
Oof.
you know what I want them to do. I'm okay with a 3 week new event if every like 2 weeks or so they throw out an old event and just run them side by side like that would be absolutely fine and that would be brilliant because then it's a catch up and you've got the way the global can catch up. It's just it's uh, it's a state.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's we'll get back to that. Next I want to look at the premium gotcha, just to get this out of the way. So Art called it yesterday. He did say they would add my kitty mom here, and here she is. You can now get a Sakuragi Suruga from the pool. Now, I don't suggest you go throw your gems at this, but she's just a nice thing that now that, if you're using a UR ticket or anything to that effect, you have a chance to roll her. And I think Ark agrees, this is probably one of the best supporters in the game right now. It's
Yeah,
just she gives you everything you
she's
want,
insane.
crit rate and crit damage right there, all rolled
Yep.
in one.
Yep,
So,
she's absolutely amazing.
yeah, it's definitely nice to have her in the pool, and she's got these little bells on her butt so you can hear her coming. I just think that's
Oh.
adorable. She's got booty bells. So yeah, that's Kitty Mom. She's in the
Nice
pool.
surprise whenever you pull Gacha and get her, that's definitely for sure.
What'd you say?
She's a nice surprise whenever you pull Gacha and get her. But again, I'm with you. I wouldn't with how terrible the rates are, go and deliberately try and pull her.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't go to premium. I would never use gems on premium. Gotcha. I just want people to know she's there, so they know she's there.
Yeah.
And outside of that, that's everything for the gotchas for the time being. I forgot to mention, but the golden pass is gone.
Yeah,
I
I'm
should
really
have
hoping
said
everyone
something
comes
about that.
back.
I think it left
I'm
today, right?
yeah, I'm really hoping that comes back again because the
Yeah,
Golden Pass is fantastic. I'm really happy. I'm more than happy to actually embrace the Golden Pass month. I'm genuinely happy to embrace that.
yeah, I like the golden pass too. I love it way more than heavy because it does for every player, like whether you put money into it or not. And it
Yeah.
will be like because we went what almost 4 or 5 months without one.
The last one was in December, so it was literally like 6 months essentially without one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a long time. So I do hope they add another one. Like it sucks to see this one go. I'm sorry I forgot that it was leaving. Otherwise, I would have reminded people to finish it. But I'm sure by now most people have it done. So
Yeah, most people day want it because it's thankfully this one wasn't time gated either.
yeah, so that's gone. Next we're gonna look at the store. So for the store costumes, we have one more week of bride costumes. So make sure that if there's a waifu skin that you want to get, go and buy it, and don't be Ark about it and not buy your waifu a wedding dress
What?
because Ark's poor Morisaki still doesn't have Eternal Promise, and you can just see her
I'm
sad, adorable face, and she's like, "But Ark-sama, why won't you buy my wedding dress so we can have honeymoon fun time?" And he just like ignores her and saves his gems. So Ark is mean and abusive to his Morisaki, and everyone knows it now. Don't laugh. I hear your dog barking too. It's like the dog's
see,
even in on it.
uh,
So yeah.
like I think there's only like two good looking ones in my opinion. That's Saki's and Vinko's.
Oh, you don't like Morisakis?
I don't like most of them.
But Murasaki looks so good. She let her hair down just for you.
I would like actually the hair down in another skin because she looks quite cool with her hair down.
Well, you could just
Isn't that
get
like
the wedding skin
there's
and
like
take her
alternate
veil
version?
off.
Yeah, but then I'm stuck wearing that bloody skin.
But it's a good skin. Okay, we're off subject. We're talking about Murasaki and you now. But, like, yeah, just make sure you get your wedding skin this week because they're going to be going away probably until next year in June if they decide to repeat this. And I have a decision to make because Asagi's has been calling me since she came out. Like, hers is
Sagi's
just...
does look damn good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go look at Asagi in it. Yeah, look at how good this looks, guys. She looks amazing. And, oh my god, hers is so good. So, yeah, just make sure if you're interested in one, go grab one. Outside of the wedding skins, let's get to the event. That's the big meat and potatoes of this whole video. So, first of all, I'm seeing a lot of new players, so I'm going to get this out of the way first. If you're new to Action Taimanin and you think that you have to finish every single box, that is not true. The moment that the rare drop for the box appears in your inventory, you can actually refresh the box by simply hitting this little refresh circle at the top. So I've been seeing an influx of new players, and on that subject, I'm going to be like just putting out some more new player tip videos and having them be at the forefront instead of older stuff to help people out
Woo,
because
revise new tips.
huh?
I said, woo, revise new tips.
Yay, new tips, yeah. Well, I noticed since Ingrid and Kirara released, there's a lot of new people like appearing in my server asking questions. And I see like a lot of new players commenting on my videos and various videos for the game, so I want to get information out to them so they aren't lost. So, yeah, now they know they can refresh their boxes if they haven't figured it out. Outside of that, there is nothing special in box 10, because we make sure to check that now just in case. And next we'll talk about Aina. So we'll click on her. Honestly, dude, her name puts me off. Whenever I say her name, I think of the word vagina. And I really don't want to sound like a pervert, but it really is just like Aina, vagina. And I'm just like,
I just call her Worcestershire sauce.
yeah, she is. Didn't you say, like, when I said her name, like, Ina Winchester, like, yesterday, you're like, that sounds like a place.
Yeah, I said, that's not a name, that's a place.
Yeah, she is a whole place. I will say this, like, before we get into anything about her, she's so thick, and I love those legs. That's like a lap that you just, like, lay on and fall asleep. But, now we'll look at how terrible she is. So, the Merc with Guns Akimbo. It says, when using a machine-type character, reduces damage taken by 15%. And next we'll look at her active, which is, summons a drone that attacks a single enemy with 30% damage for 4 seconds. So, what do you want to get into first, the passive or the active? I say we get into...
1 second.
Oh, okay, he's away. I say we'll get into the passive first. Her passive's not bad. It's basically the same thing as the last event supporter we had, Sakuya, but it works for machines instead of demons. So overall, I don't mind it. It's like, definitely will fill a slot. For example, like, if you want to run something like Tanky Emily, she would fill the slot. Like, I currently use a Kirara on my Emily, because Kirara gives 30% damage reduction and healing up. But if you don't have a Kirara, because it's limited, this would be a great substitute for an Emily tank build. Outside of that, she'll just work on any machine type for any like newer or any like, I guess, middle ground player who doesn't have a huge collection yet. She'll work as far as like, yeah, I can level this supporter and put her on my Asuka or my Emily, and she'll basically just make them more tanky without any other conditions. So her passive overall is good. Her being in the sub slot is good. Her active, however, is just hot garbage. It's just so bad. I don't even have words for how bad it is.
Her active, I think, is literally the worst active in the game.
You think it's that bad?
I think even at half the cooldown, it's that bad.
It's just the fact that, okay, like, Emily exists, and anyone who was playing during the Waifu War event has an Emily. So if we go look at Emily, supporter, where is she hiding? There she is. Okay, so Emily says, summons a drone that performs a consecutive attack of 90% damage to a single enemy for 12 seconds. Now, Emily herself isn't that great because of the 65-second cooldown. But that 12-second duration isn't that bad because it basically makes it a 53-second cooldown. And the drone at least deals 90% of your damage. Whereas if we go back and look at Aina, I believe at base she's, what, 30%? and then
Yep.
on at like max level, so when you get her to level 60, that 30% will turn into a 60% buff, or 60% damage rather, not buff. It's 60% of your basic attack damage, and it only lasts for 4 seconds. So I just don't think it's that good. It doesn't even say
Yeah.
consecutive attack either, so I wonder how the drone actually attacks itself. Like if it's, because I know Emily's is like a laser beam of doom. Is this
I
one like
imagine it
that?
would just do. I imagine it would do damage for 4 seconds. I've not used her yet, but I've obviously got her, but I've not used her.
Yeah, when I get
She's
her,
just
I'll slap
terrible.
her in the main slot for a video and see exactly what it looks like. But I don't think 60% of your damage for 4 seconds is that great of an active either way. But she's still adorable, and she has heterochromatia, so we just have to take that eye patch off, and then we'll get to see her yellow eye. So we have yellow eyes, blue eyed waifu. I don't know, terrible nickname. We'll come up with something better, but she is adorable, and I can't get over how thick she is. Outside of that, um, I don't have it unlocked yet, but they do have a bonus stage for this event. Ark did show me because he has it unlocked. And I will go ahead and say this. I do think from now on, bonus stages are our current end game.
I hope so.
You do hope
Uh,
so? You hope that's like a thing?
well, I hope that they constantly do it because obviously it's clear now that I can say I told you so to everyone who kept telling me to shut up about tower resetting
Well,
because tower is not resetting. That's clear and obvious right now.
when you say I hope so, I mean I hope we get Tower because I'm still
I hope we
wondering.
get tower, but we've got it's 18. We've got to be thankful for the little things.
Well, at least
And
we okay.
I
Basically, the bonus stage is a good thing because beating level 3 for those who can do it will give you 5 gacha coins, and we do get 4 gacha coins from the event boxes. So, with that being said, it's 9 gacha coins per event now, which means it would take roughly 10 events to get to pity, because you have to imagine in that time you'll also get gacha coins from your weeklies as well. So roughly 9 to 10 events will get you pity. Or as Ark said earlier, when we were talking about this, it would take what 5 events to get a mileage skin
yeah
now.
yeah because they're
So
only 50. So
that is a good thing. Like I don't mind it, but what I'm worried about is these stupid stones, these crystals for awakening our characters. If Tower is truly not meant to reset, and the acquire info for the crystal says Arena Tower, what are they going to do to get people more crystals in the future?
that's
That's my
we
big
don't know.
worry. Like it's because it's not
That's
really that
yeah.
I'm not grateful for the bonus stages. I am because I like having hard content to do regardless of the reward. And gacha coins is fine, but I think the bonus stages should be giving us crystals, or at least like a crystal choice box such as this item here, where you literally can just choose one of the crystals you want. I think 5 crystal kits would have been a better reward than 5 gacha coins.
I honestly think it should give us both. It should give both due to the fact that yes, I think that you should give crystals. But the problem is that obviously once you've got every character unawakened, for example, that becomes a dead content. So the gacha coins will still keep it sweet for anyone who actually wants them. So I honestly think there'd be nothing wrong with throwing 5 crystals in for step 3.
Yeah, just giving us like the choice of a crystal, like a crystal kit choice, and then the 5 gacha coins with that. I think that would be fair. But obviously they have plans for these crystals because they're not giving them to us at any other means. And I don't know if they're waiting for more of the community to clear the tower. Like, do you think they have a metric for the percentage of players that have cleared this?
They'll definitely have a metric somewhere in the databases, but at the end of the day, it's the entire thing we keep talking about a roadmap of them not giving us a roadmap. It just makes us all sit here and go, well, we're not awakening our characters because we don't want to. We want to know when the next awakening crystals are coming. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's another thing. And I've given up waiting. I am gonna awaken Yuki and Emily. They're my girls, like them and Kirara. So I've given up. I'm gonna awaken them. Not right this moment, but that's in the
Yeah,
plans of things to come. So moving on from Tower, God, I hope it repeats. Like I wouldn't even be mad if they made a crafting facility for these items at this point. But
depending on what you actually need for them, I would.
speaking of
Because if
facilities,
you need nanofibers, I would be very angry.
oh yeah, I would too. Yeah, it needs to be mats that we can like at least get from dailies. Now, speaking of facilities, I want to come over to this exchange facility and just talk about this. I've seen a lot of people like saying verbally in chats that I'm in, and a lot of people like saying in comments that, or even in my Discord server, that they think that For example, like a supporter who's not that good. So we'll use Worst Desire Sauce or Ina Winchester, whichever you want to call her, as an example. I've seen some people saying they're going to take 4 of the Inas that they get from this event and use them in the exchange facility to try and get a different ultra rare. I highly suggest you do not throw away a supporter like that, especially since you risk being able to get the same supporter back. And as you guys can see here, Ina is already in the pool for our exchange facility, so it'd be really unfortunate if you took 4 of her to fish for another ultra rare and put them into the pool and then you get 1 of her back. Like, that would be the most cringy thing, and I don't want that to happen to anyone. So really use this facility sparingly. Like, as you always say, Ark, I think this is something more meant for whales who just have an abundance of stuff that they want to throw away.
Yep, this is meant for the whale who wants to just do a bit more gambling,
Yeah,
because that's all
so,
you're doing is gambling away 3 to try and get something else. It's
yeah.
realistically just meant to try to scratch that gambling itch for any whales. It's not meant for general players.
It really isn't. Like, I can't even afford to use this facility if I'm being honest. Because people call me a whale, and I'm not even like a whale, really. I'm not that big of a whale compared to what's out there. So if I can't afford to use this facility, if your account is beneath mine, you probably shouldn't either. And I think even people like above me shouldn't. I really just think this is a terrible facility overall. I think it's a good idea, but poorly implemented, essentially. Kind of like the
This,
dispatch. And speaking of dispatch, if you really don't like Ina, do what I did with this supporter here, Letitia, and just don't fuse them and just use them as dispatch fodder. Like, that's literally what she's for. She's green dispatch fodder. Because I just think she's terrible and I haven't had a use for
yeah,
her, so that's what I use her for.
yeah,
Even if you fuse the Ina and get her to S level 5 and you're not using her, she's still good dispatch fodder regardless. So I wouldn't like sell her off or try to trade her to the exchange facility. And if you really, really don't want her in your inventory and you really hate her that much, instead of you putting her in the facility, just sell her for mileage, please. Because that's 250 mileage for all 5 of them. Like, if you really want to
mm,
get rid of her. Because I saw people talking about this the other day, and I'm like, why don't they just sell these things for mileage and slowly build up to a Shisui instead of throwing it in for a gamble? You know, yes, Shisui will take forever, but enough time selling things, you'll eventually have her, you know, even as a free-to-play. So,
yeah.
yeah, if there's any supporters you don't want, like from an event, I think the best use for them is to sell them for mileage because Shisui is insanely good. And that's pretty much all I'll say about Aina. She sucks. Her passive's okay, but her active sucks.
I don't think she sucks. I think she's good for a bit of a defensive build on machines, but I understand why people don't
Well,
like her
the
though,
thing is
because
like,
it's not very good offensively. But she's a good like just throw in a sub slot and forget about her on like a machine character.
yeah, I agree with that. I said that already. I think if they don't have a Kirara and they want to build a tanky machine, she's a good sub slot for sure. But if you have like anything else that you can use over her, like she's definitely a substitute for like if you don't have the better thing. If I'm being honest about her. Because there are
Yeah,
better
yeah.
defensive supporters out there. Because Kirara's passive is literally the same thing, but for any character type. It's 30% damage reduction and 20% healing, if I remember correctly. And Kirara's
Yeah.
also green. So to me, Kirara's just a stronger Ina, as far as the passive goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we end the video, in regards to the bonus stage. You said that Ina has a passive, right?
Yeah, it's not just on a bonus stage.
Alright, it's her boss in general, yeah.
Yeah, spoiler for anyone watching. The end boss for level 5 or stage 5 of the event is Ina Worcestershire Saucer. And when you fight her, she has 3 passes, which is damage reduced taken from ultimates by 40%, increased damage dealt to Emily by 50%, and increased damage dealt to Asuka by
Wait, she
50%.
deals more damage to Emily and Asuka, or does she reduce their damage?
She deals 50% more damage to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, didn't you say she hit you for 5k earlier?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when
she would have done, she would have done
7,500 damage.
7,500
Yeah, yeah. That was on
to,
bonus stage 3 though, in all fairness. But yeah.
yeah, but I'm just imagining like an Asuka going in there and getting punched in the face for like 7 to
Yeah.
8k. Oh.
I can understand the Emily thing, but I feel really bad for Asuka mains in this one because Asuka is an okayish character in the first place. Why are you nerfing her essentially and kicking her in the face in this type of event?
I
I
think
feel
it's
like it
to
was the damage taken
accentuate
from
the fact
ultimates,
that she
though.
counters machines overall.
Yeah, but
Like, I know it sucks
yeah,
because Asuka's not like a super OP character that they should like be balancing
yeah,
against. So I get where you're coming from. The other thing too with bonus stage 3, because bonus stage 3 also makes it so machine characters themselves deal less, right?
yes. It actually gives the machine type character's attack reduced. So yeah, not only that, but you're also going to be doing a lot less to her as well, and taking 50% more damage. So it's going to be really painful for any Asuka mains out there. Emily mains, on the other hand, yeah, Emily, you're fine.
Are you sure Emily will be fine though? Like, do you think Emily needs to go tank to do it, or do you think DPS
I
Emily could
think
do it?
Emily, obviously, I think Emily would be fine, would be better off as tank, but I think she could probably do it as DPS. But I think she'd be much better off as a tank because
Let's
obviously Emily tank is hilarious.
Speaking of Emily Tank, I'm sure you guys know I've built my Emily Tanky. I've showed people this before. So this is what we're talking about in regards to Aina. If you don't have something like this Kirara here, Aina would basically fill that slot like wonderfully. She would just give Emily the 30% damage reduction for a tanky build like this is just basically the Immortal Kirara build, but slapped onto Emily because it works really good with her because she has two sources of healing with her gravity hold and her healing fieldu. Ark, you say it, you do it better.
Healing field.
Yeah, that move. And then that with Ginryu and Suzune is just like enough healing, so she just needs damage reduction. So for people trying to do an Emily tank build, I know will really like nestle in perfectly with that setup. Now, before we end the video, the one thing I want to bring up is because I want to get back to what you said. These 3 week events. These events are now 3 weeks long.
Yep,
So
because the last one was, and so is this one. So it's very safe to assume that we are totally on the JP schedule now.
there's one problem. There's a couple problems with this. The big problem is it seems like they're kind of moving full speed ahead, where they're just putting out new supporters now. I don't know if we're ever gonna see the melee supporter that gives 30% damage, the green supporter, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get that machine character that gives 36% damage to machines, because this character Shirayuki, the dark elf. God, why can't there she is? There's a machine equivalent for this that Japan got in an event that Global has not seen yet. And the fact that they're moving on with events means that are we going to get these like for anniversary, or is Global just going to not have those supporters? It's the
I think
same
the real
issue with
problem is
things
as
like with
well.
Adult Yuki and other supporters that are in the gacha that we just don't have. Because I think we're missing like 3 or 4 gacha supporters too
Yeah,
that
I
we
think the
just
real
don't
issue is as
have.
well is that the those two event supporters were recent in JP as well. So it's to the case of if they're not going to repeat them, we've got like no chance in the heck of seeing them.
And what bugs me is
Oh, a very big time frame.
they're not in our exchange facility
Nope.
either. So we can't even
Nope.
like exchange to try and get those. Not that I would use that facility, but it just leaves me wondering now that we're on a 3 week schedule. The reason I'm bringing that up with this is to say it would really be beneficial if they like gave us 2 events for 3 weeks. Because if it's going to be 3 weeks long, we're going to not have much to do anyway. And I don't think having 2 events at once, or even like putting like another event in like after the first and letting both run, and then letting the secondary event end a week later, I don't think that would be too much of a strain on people because of how long they're giving us now. Because before 2 weeks was a bit rough, but I think 3 weeks per event, they could
Well,
definitely
it's
start doubling up and doing repeats to help people out.
well the thing is, it's as I've always said about events though. There's realistically speaking, just buy a 10 pack of AP potions for anyone with a built account or anyone with an actual properly established account. Because at the end of the day, you can just get those potions. You're going to get 150 from doing all the actual levels anyway. And buy a 10 pack. The 10 pack will most of the time see you through the entire event. You're still up by a net 50 of gems, or 60 actually, because the 10 pack costs 90.
Yeah, but I get why
So,
people don't spend any gems on the 10 pack because it is still 90, and I
oh
know
yeah,
people
I
are
get it.
saving for stuff, and like let's face it, like nothing's cheap gem wise because we don't get a lot of them. So, like I get what you're
Yeah, yeah,
saying. Yeah, they will if they
yeah.
buy a 10 pack because actually let's go to the store and show them for people who don't know. Consumables. Yeah, 10 pack is 90 gems like Ark is saying. But I get why people wouldn't want to spend 90 gems, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I fully get why they wouldn't want to spend it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're in a situation where you need those gems and you want to do that event, just spend out for them. You're still profiting gems. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's still a
And
profit. So I mean, I don't know, man. I with the 3 week timer, like I know you like to get it done day one, but with 3 weeks, I think it's more than enough time for people to just do it with natural AP at this point.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
like I mean, if you're not in a rush, I wouldn't buy the AP pots. I think Arc is talking for people who want to clear it right away. But yeah, in the situation where they double up on events, I think even if they doubled up right now, that people would still be able to do it with natural AP. And
yeah.
we need to double up. We need those supporters. Like those Emily's are rocking people in arena because they have that 36% damage to machine supporter. Like
hmm
and global Emily's can't even do it back. Like we don't have the option, you know?
Yeah, that's the main problem is that there was just no option ever, and that's why whenever people say, "Oh, we are just we're being horrible to JP players," no, we're not at all. We just want to be able to play on a level playing field.
Yeah, and if they're gonna merge the server together, they have to at least catch us up as far as supporters. Like, not even to mention all the skins we're missing. Like, I literally haven't used this ticket. I think it's this one. Yeah, this the super special awesome amazing ticket because there's so many JP exclusive skins here that I literally can't decide what I want.
Same.
And it's driving me up a wall.
It's just the same. It's because as global players, we've all put because we've had no opportunity to ever get those skins that are in there that are unique. We have literally just put a fake value onto those skins,
Yeah,
which is now obviously a real value with those skins because even JP players can't say for sure if they're getting those skins again or anything like that. And that's the problem is like we've sat there and we've put an arbitrary value on that skin because of how rare it is, because it doesn't get seen.
so that's pretty much the video. I just wanted to like touch base on the 3 week timer and kind of talk about how they could potentially do some repeats for. Oh, I have 26 AP pots. Nice. Completely stopped my train of thought, but I have more than I thought. But yeah, the 3 week timer, I think it would benefit for them to actually be giving us more than one event because wait, what is this scroll down? Okay, there's nothing. You know, because there's like a scroll down button here on the event screen, but you can't actually scroll
Yeah.
down. So I was like, wait, is there another event here and I'm an idiot? But no, there's not. So yeah, they need to double up, like completely off the subject of the update, but I like to say it because
It's
word
just
needs to get out there that we need these supporters because I just
it's
don't
not
think it's
even
fair.
just it's not even just us either. It's new players in general. The amount of time we've been asked, "Oh, how do you get that support that you're using? How do you get this one?" And it's like we can't. You can't. It's from an event, and that's the issue. That's why always having at least one repeat event going is genuinely a good thing because it gives new players or something to look forward to because they can look forward to the time when Yozora or whatever her name is available again, and it's just generally stuff like that where they need to be able to have that type of thing where when we can sit there and go, if we can sit there and say, oh, just wait for it to roll around again, they do repeats every whatever, it'll roll around again. We can't say that because Global has only ever had one event repeat, and it was a quote unquote celebration of the merge. That's the
Yeah,
only reason why that entire event repeated. Other than that, we've never seen an event repeat, and we've almost had the game a year now.
yeah, and it was Mari, so she's not even that good of a supporter.
Yeah,
It was like a real disappointment repeat.
and now with the actual facility there, we can sit there and say there's a very good chance that we might not ever see events again because they've got a facility where you can go and get the supporters now,
But we can't
and they
even
can
get
just
the.
and they can just say screw it.
But
No,
we
no, no. But
still
I mean,
can't
like
get the
the ones
Japanese
we've had.
supporters. That's what I
Yeah, no,
mean.
but yeah, but I mean the ones we've had, they can literally just sit there and say screw it, which is no. The people who's new players need to be able to get people like Yozora again, who was the very first event supporter we had in global. Like so few people in the player base have Yozora
Well,
because of that.
you mean Onigumo. Yozora was second.
No, Oniguma was second, I believe, but she was
Onigumo was
Halloween and
first.
Yozora was before. Was it? Oh,
Onigumo was
oh,
first.
was it? Oh, is it? I was like,
Yeah,
either way. But yeah, that's the point. Is like they just need to actually do things like that and actually get it properly sorted because with the they're just not being very inviting to new players in that regard as well. And I
and
would
that's
like to see
another
them
issue.
actually.
Like I can't even like this game is a good game, but when if you're new, I struggle to see like how people are starting late and like keeping with it without wailing because they're just so limited compared to like the game just isn't it doesn't like go backwards ever. It's always like new event, new supporter, new event, new supporter, new event, new supporter.
Yeah,
And it's
and
like
that
if you
wouldn't
just you
be.
if you miss it, you just missed it.
And the reason why it's a big deal is if you miss it, obviously, is because the game doesn't really power creep. the game side creeps and side upgrades and adds unique supporters every time. So as such, that's why getting those old event supporters are genuinely important for players.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And getting crappy event supporters and gotcha supporters like we got this time is depressing.
Yeah, but it's still important to get them.
Yeah, it is important to get them. I'm just saying, like, that's another thing. Like, if I'm gonna complain about anything, the game needs to be more friendly to new players, and I think the quality of the supporters should be a little bit better. Like for like event supporters. Like, I'm not asking for some OP gotcha quality supporter every time. I'm just asking for something that's like people look at and go, yeah, this is nice. Because a lot of people, when they saw Ina's ability, they were just like, great, another crappy dispatch supporter. And it
Yep.
sucks like to have that happen because, you know, we're now on a 3-week timer. We're literally going to be getting a supporter like once a month. That is guaranteed for people, you know, who don't pay. And it just sucks to see them not get something that's not really that useful to them. That's all. It's
Yeah.
just really disappointing in that regard. And it sucks even more because like seeing Ina's event, like I think Ina's adorable and I don't have anything against her. Like and if I would love to see her as a playable character if I'm being honest. I'd probably go for her. But seeing Ina to me is just a disappointment when they could have repeated that machine supporter that JP has for us and they could have given the melee supporter that
But the problem is
JP
with that,
has. Like
and
any of
I
those
think I said
events would have been better than this one.
the problem is though, and I think I've said it to you before, and I think it was actually in a video I said it. The reason why I don't think we're ever going to get the support anytime in the next like 6-7 months at least is because that machine support was literally given to Japan after they announced the server merge. So they got that support exclusively after the server merge was announced.
Yes, but the melee supporter they've had forever, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've had the melee support. I think about a week or so. I think it was like a couple of weeks after Christmas. Someone said they got that one.
Yeah, I don't remember
But
the exact
yeah,
time frame, but I know they've had it long enough that we should have it by now.
yeah,
Like I feel like we should have gotten her before we ever merged, if I'm being honest. That's how long ago it
yeah.
was.
You know my opinion. We should have been 100% caught up before the merge, but
Yeah, same, I agree. But that'll be the video because it's getting into a discussion about how we've been
yeah,
shafted in global. But overall, like at least we have bonus stages for endgame. I know for people hoping for a new tower, that's not really a good thing because I know people want more tower. And we'll see what they do as far as awakening crystals in the future. But for now, at least you can get 5 additional gotcha coins, and I mean it's better than nothing, right? I try to look at the
yeah.
positive of that.
The catch it's what's it called? Desire, thankfully. So hey,
Yeah, it gives you desire, and it gets you like gotcha coins when you do the event for more gotcha. So we'll look at that positive, and we'll take the win there. And yeah, we'll definitely put videos out for for Ina just in case people are having trouble beating her on bonus stage 3. We'll try it with various characters like we did with the last event and see who has trouble and see who doesn't. And I think that'll be the video, guys. Thanks for coming on, Ark. I appreciate it.
hmm
And with that, you boys and gals have a great rest of your day. Good luck in all facets of the game. You guys take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.